What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Toxin Gaming. Today I'm bringing you my Moisture Creature, Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen Fairy deck. I've been actually playing this at locals. This is like my main IRL deck, and it's been a lot of fun to play. It's very, very good. And it's not one of those decks where I'm like, oh, it's very, very good, and it's like, but it ends up being like this not very competitive deck, and it's just like a very fun deck. This is legitimately like I said, my main deck right now, so it actually can compete with the meta and does a very well job. I got first place last week at locals, so this is going to be my first place locals deck profile. But yeah, to start this off, we play the skill switcheroo, and I will pull that all up for you guys like I usually do. So all custom cards, switcheroo. And what this skill does, it says, activate the skill during your main phase. Once per turn, you can shuffle one card from your hand to the deck, then draw a card. Also flip this skill over. And then you can only use this skill up to twice per duel. So twice per duel, you get to mulligan one card from hand. And that's actually really, really good. If you saw my Dark Magician video, my Dark Paladin video, both those decks play this card. The skill is, I think, probably the best generic skill in the game at the moment. So, like, if you're ever, like, looking around to build, like, a for-fun deck or anything like that, Switcheroo is always a good skill to look at. But yeah, going into the monster lineup, we're playing triple moisture creature. This is like your big boss monster of the deck. It's bigger than XYZ Dragon Cannon. It has a strong defense of 2900, so it can't be run into. It outs the spellproof deck. The lineups that I played against last week was round 1 I played against XYZ and was able to bring out Moisture Creature, and was powering through with my spell and trap cards. I was able to, like, you know, have an answer to the fusion monsters whenever they were summoned. So Moisture Creature was like a really good boss monster for that one. And round 2, I played against Spellproof. Moisture Creature is stronger than every single monster in that deck. I just played in defense mode until I could Breaker and Cosmic and Night Beam out the Shrinks. And then once I saw that 2 Shrinks hit the graveyard both games, I was just like, all right, I'm in a good situation. Can switch it to attack mode. And then, you know, go on the aggressive side. And then in game 3, I played against Skull Servant, and yeah, I had to utilize side deck there, and then obviously, like, spell and trap cards that are in this deck, and then that was able to get around the, you know, the king, because it only has 0 defense. But yeah, so Moisture Creature here just kind of, like, does what it needs to do with this deck. It's your main card, you know, beats over everything. High defense, and then if you tribute 3 cards, it's Harpy Feather Duster, so that's really cool. The next card that we play is Banisher of the Radiance. This is also a good card for the Skull Servant matchup. All cards sent to the graveyard are banished instead. It's really good for the Magnet Warrior matchup too, in case you know, none of those Magnet Warriors will go to the graveyard, and then all of them will, I guess, I don't really know. They'll be banished, and so this field spell can't revive it from the graveyard. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. But if, like, say they out the say they summon Alpha or whatever, and then attack in with it, that Alpha will kill the Banisher, and both and Banisher will go to graveyard. So yeah, same thing, different day. Breaking the Magical Warrior, playing at 3 like we usually do. This is primarily for the 1900 beater that can be an MST if you wanted to. Very, very good. I like this card a lot, especially in this deck, because back row is like, it sucks. So this deck is kind of like anti-back row. Going on to the spell lineup, we're actually playing double Valhalla. We're not playing this card at 3 because it's a brick. If you play any more than that, you don't want to have too many of these in your hand. Switcheroo will allow you to get your pieces of Valhalla and one of your fairy monsters. So you just switch a card from your hand into the deck, shuffle it back into the deck, and draw a new card, Valhalla. And Moisture Creature, like I said, is like the main 2 cards you're looking for when you do that. But you're also looking for, like, all your other, like, random cards that you're playing too. Like, for example, your Triple Book of Moon. This card is very good to protect your Moisture Creature and your other monster cards. And we're playing at 3 copies because I feel like that's just the best way to play it. Doubles Cosmic Cyclone in this deck. This is for the Moss matchup. We main deck it. I feel like we're moving forward in this format. Cosmic Cyclones is probably going to be seeing more main deck play. So I feel like if you're not main decking Cosmic Cyclone, try it out, see how you like it. And it's probably like your best way to get around Moss. Lastly, we have 1 singular Night Beam in the deck. That way we can stop Zomas and other pesky trap cards that are on the field. Moving on to the trap lineup, we're playing a double Floodgate Trap Hole. This card is really good. Permanently setting the opponent's monsters is like crazy strong in this deck. Usually though, whenever I side cards, I take the Floodgates out and put it into Lost Winds, especially if it's against XYZ, Moss. Another deck that would be good would be like Magnet. So Floodgate Trap Holes would be taken out, and then Lost Winds would be put in. That way our moisture creature can actually climb it. We're also playing 2 Zone of the Spirit. I'm not playing this card as 3 just for room purposes. I don't want to play any more than 22 cards in my deck because of switcheroo. I want it to be as consistent as possible. So Zone of the Spirit is card I'm playing at 2. And lastly, I'm actually playing Fairy Wind. Most people that play this deck actually main deck Dispel Shattering Arrow and don't play Fairy Wind. I like Fairy Wind a lot personally. The reason why I like Fairy Wind is just because it can it destroys your spell and trap cards too, which sucks for your Valhalla and sucks for your Zoma, but in certain situations, this card actually burns for game, and if your opponent's playing in like a bad situation, you can end up actually burning them for 600 damage or destroying your own 2 cards, or in the end, if you don't have a Valhalla or a Zoma on the field, the Fairy Wind actually gets rid of the field spells, so that's kind of the big thing. Also, if they Parasite you, you can also Fairy Wind the Parasite, so that's also an option you can go for. The other thing is Fairy Wind hits trap cards, and Spell Shattering Arrow doesn't, and so this also outs your opponent's Zomas. So that's the biggest reason why we're main decking Fairy Wind instead of Spell Shattering, because this is just going to out the opponent's Zoma card. And Zoma can be a very pesky deck if you have an attack position moisture creature and none of your Cosmic Cyclones to help you out. Going for the side deck, this is my own personal take on what the side deck should be. I play 1 Noble Mana Cross out. That way I can get rid of the Man-Eater bugs that are currently being played in Moss, get rid of the Apprentice package, stuff like that. Like hit the Man-Eater bug, hit the old V, stuff like that. And if you book like a card and have this in hand, it's pretty much a 2 card to kill 1 card thing, but you know, if you have to, you have to. Another card we play in the side deck is Soul Release. That way we can banish cards from the graveyard, such as like the zombie monsters, the rock monsters for the magnets. That's the only. Oh, and you can banish the pieces for XYZ, so that's pretty good too. Like I said before, we're playing the 1 Spell Shattering Arrow, and the reason why we're playing the Spell Shattering Arrow at 1 is just for like matchups where we see a lot more like face-up spell and trap cards, such as like Parasite's a good one, but like Field Spells is the main example here. Again, we're not main decking it. Main reason is just I would rather main deck Fairy Wind because it can hit the Zomas. Alright, the other 2, moving on to traps on the side, it's 2x Lost Wind. This is my favorite card currently in speed duels, like trap-wise, so you're going to see it in every one of my side decks. It kills XYZ. It doesn't just stop XYZ, this card kills XYZ. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the main reason. It hits other decks too, like Magnet, and it hits Moss, but you know, I will explain it every time to you guys if you want me to. And then lastly, we play the 1 of Waking the Dragon. Well, we play so many cool cards, you know. We play like Lost Winds, we play Zomas, we play Cosmics, we play Book of Moons. So our opponents are going to be trying to hit our back row. So what we do is if we notice our opponents are playing Breakers, we actually slide into the Waking. And then what we will do here is like usually take out one of the Floodgate Trap Holes here. You could take out a Night Beam if you wanted to. But that's kind of like what I would do. It's like grab that Waking. Also, since you're playing Waking, pay a lot of attention to the zone your opponent is always choosing whenever they destroy spell or trap card zone. That way you know the exact zone you want to set your Waking in. For the fusion lineup, it's the same that I would recommend for any Waking the Dragon lineup. It's 2,000 Eyes, 2 Ryu Senshi, and then 2 Arcana Knight Joker. I probably should put a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in here, but like I feel like Arcana Knight Joker is fine. If you would play Ultimate Dragon, just take out the Ryu Senshi, that's that too. Put in Ultimate Dragon instead. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I'm going to get right into the showcase, and then yeah, I'll see you guys here. Alright, so getting into the showcase and everything, it's pretty cool deck that I'm playing against actually. It's not like a meta-relevant deck, but I think I've been showcasing too many like meta decks versus my decks lately. So I figured I'd show you like a for fun deck that this guy was playing against. He's actually playing the Heavy Metal Raiders deck, and like I think the Heavy Metal Raiders is really cool, but like it does die to like spell and trap hate, and my deck is spell and trap hate galore. So the opponent you know, sets his Blast Sphere. Well, opponent goes first, as you can see. Starts off with the 3 cards in hand and activates the field spell. He sets the Blast Sphere and then sets the Rare Metal Morph. So I go into my turn, I start off by using my Night Beam, and I'm able to destroy the Rare Metal Morph. After that, I use the Valhalla Hall of the Fallen. I use its effect to special summon the Banisher of the Radiance, and then I normal summon Breaker the Magical Warrior. Breaker's effect activates, banishing the field spell, so it can't be Magicianed face back, or whatever like reoccursion that they have. Then I use the switcheroo here to put the Fairy Wind back in the deck to draw a new card, being the Banisher. moving to battle phase, my breaker's going to attack into the defense monster because he's playing heavy metal raiders. I figured it was the blast sphere, and then yeah, it was. So it equips to the breaker here because it's like whenever it's attacked face down. It's not even when it goes to the graveyard from that position. So I thought that was really neat. Banisher will attack directly for 1600 and then move on to the opponent's turn. He draws into the Twin Barrel Dragon and summons it. Uses the effect here. He's going to target the Banisher of the Radiance and flip 2 coins. First one on the coin though is a tail, so he's not able to destroy it. Just attacks right into the Banisher here, and then I'll lose 100 life points. Moving on to my standby phase, Blast Sphere will activate, destroy my breaker, and then inflicting 1600 life points to me. I use Switcheroo here, putting the Banisher back into the deck to draw a card, because I need more of a way to out this Twin Barrel Dragon, and I draw into the Floodgate, which is fine. So I set the Floodgate, set the Zoma, and pass turn. Opponent draws into the Blast Sphere, summons the Blast Sphere, and then uses Iron Draw so he can draw 2. When he summoned this, I was like, what are you doing? And I realized what was going on. Goes into battle phase, and then attacks for 1700 direct damage. And then I'm going to use with a Spirit, summoning it to the field in defense mode, and then at this point he just passes turn off to me, and I was like, okay, well you could have definitely just zoomed here and hit me in the face, but like whatever. I draw for turn, drawing into the Banisher of the Radiance. I'm out of switcheroos, so I summon the Banisher and switch the Zoma to attack mode, attacking into the Twin Barrel Dragon, making him lose 100 life points, and then Banisher attacking into the Blast Sphere, making him lose 200 life points. Passing turn off to the opponent, going into the Twin Barrel Dragon, summons it to the field using its effect, but we're going to Floodgate right away, gets the coin tosses, and then, yeah, is able to out the Zoma. I don't know if this play is legal, because I think whenever this is summoned, yeah, I think, I'm not sure. Somebody just let me know in the comment sections. If I Floodgate the Twin Barrel Dragon, does the Twin Barrel Dragon still get effect? Alright, but it got double heads, I let it go through, and then kill off the Zoma. I draw for turn, drawing into Valhalla, attack into the face down card. By the way, I meant to set that and misclicked and activated it, and I was like, oh, I guess I suck. Drawing into the other Banisher, I just normal summon it, and then the opponent proceeds to scoop. Going into game 2 here, I'm pretty sure I don't even remember what I set it in, but drawing for turn and everything. Opponent opts to go first, which I thought was odd, but hey. He sets 1 card face down. I think it's the Blast Sphere, so I'm not too keen on attacking into it. Return 1 card from my hand to the deck, draw into the Night Beam. Use the Night Beam here to hit the back row, and then using the breaker again to destroy the field spell. Set 1 card face down, being the Floodgate, and then pass turn off to the opponent, which, because I didn't want to attack into the Dakochi and not have a play for it. So Dakochi activates and draws a card. I meant to say Blast Sphere. And then he draws 1 card for turn. Drawing into the Iron Draw. Tributes it off and summons the Jinzo, and then attacks into the Breaker of the Magical Warrior. I'm going to take 800 life points here, and then I'm going to draw for turn, drawing into the Zoma's Spirit. Not a lot of help here, so I have to use Switcheroo here, switching it into the deck and drawing a new card, drawing into my 3 of, and then I just proceed to pass turn there, like scoop up cards there. 2 Moisture Creatures, not going to do anything there. I only have a Cosmic Cyclone and a Floodgate Trap Hole, which is turned off by Jinzo. So I was like, yeah, probably should just scoop here, get into game 3. Skill activates, you know, Heavy Metal Raiders, 3 cards to hand. Opponent sets the Iron Draw, doesn't even summon the Twin Barrel Dragon here, and just passes turn. So I just use Cosmic Cyclone here. I'm going to hit the back row, paying a K. And then I'm going to use the Valhalla, special summon the Moisture Creature. Normal summon the breaker, use the breaker effect to pop, and then I'm going to win the game. So yeah, that's what this deck really does. It's like an FTK-esque build. It's very fun to play. Like I said, it's actually competitively viable too, because you're playing so much back row hate, playing so much monster hate, and it's like really, really fun. If you guys want to try it out, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's my main IRL deck. I got first place at Locals yesterday playing this exact build, or not yesterday, last Monday, playing this exact build. And yeah, so if you guys like this kind of content, make sure you leave a like. If you like me, make sure you subscribe. And as always, I want you all to stay awesome, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.